Okay. Oops. Wait. Give me a second. Wrong button. Okay. Wait. What's wrong? Okay. Wait a second. Give me a second. I think there's some. I just updated my OBS. It seems that there's some problem. Give me a second. I think I need to do something about the hotkeys. Yeah, it seems it's supposed to be okay. Okay. So sorry about that. Okay, just now I just updated my OBS. There's some problem. Yeah, but never mind. Okay, I think it's fixed now. Okay, so this week, okay, on Geek Night, we are talking about Saihate no Paladin. Okay, so as you know, Saihate no Paladin is the anime's current that is that aired this season. Okay, and we're approaching the end of the year and also a new season of anime. Okay, so basically, Saihate no Paladin have finished airing. Okay, now I'll talk a bit about next season's anime at the end, okay? But first of all, let's go through about Saihate no Paladin, okay? If you haven't watched Saihate no Paladin, okay, the story starts off with the protagonist woken up as a baby after being reincarnated, okay? So, and we don't know much about who the protagonist is when in the show, because if I'm not, either he doesn't remember, and that's why, but he know that he's reincarnated. Okay, so that's the first thing that we know. Okay, and there's no flashback so far about Normally, when you get this kind of anime slash manga, okay, they have flashback about when they would die before they got hit by truck gung. Okay, and this time we don't get that. We just get him as a baby waking up. Okay, now maybe it will reveal on later in the anime slash manga. Okay, and to tell the truth, I've actually read the manga. Okay, like I said last week. Okay, and of course the manga is a hit, and I still haven't know his previous life. Okay, so now when he woke up, okay, he was surprised. Okay, because the first thing he saw were undeads. Okay, so there are three undeads. Okay, as you can look in the picture here, there are three undeads. Okay, give me a second. Let me take the cursor. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, there is a ghost, there's a mummy, and there's a giant skeleton over here. Okay, so these three, okay, basically took the protagonist in. Okay, remember he's still a baby. Okay, now when that happened, okay, the three of them, they raise the protagonist as their own child. Okay, because at that point of the story, we do it seems that there's no other humans in the area. Okay, for probably miles away. Okay, so the three of them decided to take the boy in. Okay, and later we're going to know that most probably because without that, number one is that there's no humans. Second thing is that the second thing is that they can't leave the area. Okay, now of course they are not gonna let a poor defenseless baby die just like that. Okay, so the three of them decided to raise them but as their child. Okay, and the three of them, okay, so basically he, as you can look from the image here, you can see that he's like some kind of a wizard because he got a pointy head, and he is a wizard. Okay, and this guy, he's like a warrior. Okay, and he trained him. Okay, so he teach him magic, he teach him fighting, survival skills and stuff. And of course, she's a priest, and she taught her basic stuff. Okay, like chores, this and that. Okay, now the main plot of the story is with the prologue is without that with living with the three of them. Okay, from baby and onwards. Okay, but when the main plot starts, okay, as you can see in the picture, he's in his teenage years, okay. So this is when the real story starts, okay. Now, turns out the undeads, the three of them just now, they are protecting a seal of a very powerful evil human slash demon, okay. They did talk a bit in the they did talk a bit about it, but you know, they kind of like blurred the lines between humans, demons, undead, okay? Because gods exist in this world, okay? In literal sense and in the sense that they manifest themselves, okay? And so they to do to protect the seal, okay, and to protect the seal, they have to borrow the power of an evil god, okay, to remain in the human realm. Remember, okay, uh, people die when they are killed. The famous quote, okay. So if they don't do something about it, okay, this evil human demon monster whatsoever, okay, is going to break the seal and come back to life and start to destroy humanity all over again, okay. So to do that, they borrowed the power of the evil god, and the evil god turned into undeads, okay. Mm. It's not like um I'm gonna further explain it later on, okay. Now, at first, okay, when he heard about this, the secret, okay, which is that they're protecting the seal, okay, he was dead set on saving his family, okay, because the evil god is going to take the undeads as his underlings, okay, as his followers, okay. Basically, he's gonna take them. So when he heard that, he was dead set, like he wants to fight for he wanted to fight for their freedom, okay, and so that they can still be a family, okay. So when that happened, okay, he had to fight the god, okay, the evil god that the undeads made a pact with. So he made a pact with the god of reincarnation, which you can see in the picture here, okay. She is the god of reincarnation, and he vowed, okay, to protect his family, okay, to follow the teachings, okay. Now, when okay, I need to go to the next slide, okay. Now, when you make a pact with gods in this world, you're going to receive blessings from them, okay. A bit, I won't say same, I would say pretty much similar to to last week's to last week's anime, Shin no Nakama. Okay. Now, for in this world, I don't know whether it is mandatory or whether this is just like a custom or whatever, because so far we have not seen this being explained further on. Okay, just saying that okay, everybody needs to choose a god and make a pact with them. Now, like I say, gods exist in this world, and they need to choose one, okay, and they need to vow to that god, okay. Now, there's a couple of things that they didn't specify, whether you can have multiple gods, okay, but whether you can have multiple gods guiding you, okay, but let's just say they didn't explain so far. Let's just assume that you can only choose one, okay. So they are, of course, the gods, they have their own speciality, okay. So for example, there's gods of fighting and blacksmithing. There's gods of knowledge, gods of uh freedom, okay, gods of lightning, okay. So all of them, okay, and justice, okay. So all of them, yeah, if you made a pact with them, they're going to boost your stats, perks, or whatsoever, okay. Now, that's not the most important part. The most important part is the second one, is which that the power they receive is proportional to the vow that they made, okay. So remember, when they make a pact with a god, they need to vow to them, okay. For example, if they vowed something as simple as, I want to live my life righteously. Okay, so that's not very hard. Okay, basically means that you don't need to steal, you can't plunder, you can't kill. It's not that hard to do. So when they vow that, you're not gonna get much blessings or power when they made the vow. Okay, because the vow is proportional to the power they receive is proportional to the vow. So if they made something, a crazy vow, for example, like going to protect the weak and vanquish all evils in the world, you are gonna receive a huge amount of power. But okay, it is said that if you made that vow, you are going to, of course, without doubt, you're gonna get power from them. But the thing is that you are going to face a lot of hardships. Okay, I don't know whether this is like whether the world actually, whether the gods actually pitted more challenges for them. Okay, but the thing is that they're going to have a hard life if they made a vow like that. Okay, now about the vows, you can change them later on. Okay, so let's say for example that at some point in their life, they're like, oh, I don't want to serve the gods of fighting. I want to dedicate my life to let's say living free. Okay, so you can change to the to the god of freedom, or god of the winds. Okay, basically that god is the Alex kind of guy. So when he made a vow to change to, like, he want to live freely, okay, he can do that anytime. Okay, but if I'm not wrong, you can do that anytime, but maybe you need to be in front of a church, maybe you need to be in front of a priest or whatsoever. Okay, so, or somebody who is high in the religious hierarchy. Okay, now the thing is, later on, we this was not mentioned in the anime, but in the manga it is said that, okay, because one of the characters actually changed gods. Okay, uh because the protagonist, okay, because he made such an important vow that he rose up to the rise of a priest just by doing that. Okay, and he received a lot of power from that. Okay, so like I say, depending on the strength of the vow, they may receive protection and perks from the gods. Okay, and he's able to use healing abilities. Okay, right after he made that pact. Okay, now there's all this is well this is not really about the person making the vow, but the god itself. Okay, the god's power is dependent on the number of the followers or the believers that they have. Okay, so um for example, okay, the god that we're talking about just now, the god of reincarnation, she uh she doesn't have much followers left because of what happened in the past. Okay, because like I say, okay, that they were protecting the seal of this powerful evil human or demon. The thing is that they live on this continent. Okay, and most of the followers are on this continent, and because of this evil person decided to destroy humanity, the whole continent is, I wouldn't say wiped out, but pretty much uh receive a huge setback. Okay, a lot of people died in that. So her the beliefs in her, since this continent is under her jurisdiction, so a lot of people die and they lose their faith, and it seems that she's receiving the setback from that. Okay, and to intervene to help the protagonist, she have to use quite a huge amount of power that she have left. Okay, now, okay, combine all of this together. Okay, blessing is a huge part of this world. Okay, now, just as last week we were talking about Shin no Nakama. Okay, Shino Nakama also have blessings, okay? And it seems that they have an almighty god, okay? A supreme god that governs the world, okay? And it's quite different, but the idea is that everybody receive blessings and they get some kind of perks to that, okay? Now, we are gonna compare the two blessings, okay? Now, let's go through the points that I've actually outlined here. Okay, in Saihate and Paladin, okay, you are bounded by the blessing, okay, by the vow, okay, and you can change it anytime you want. Okay, now the second thing about the blessing is that it acts as a guide. So, for example, let's say the simple one just now say like live your life righteously, okay? And in other words, you can't kill, you can't steal, okay? You can't do anything bad, okay? So it acts as a guide, okay? But if something happens to you, let's say for example, you you hit rock bottom and you need to steal to survive. When that happens, okay, you're just gonna lose the blessing. So let's say for example, the blessing they give you is let's say improve your charisma or some minor basic skills. But when you start to steal, okay, because you hit rock bottom, you're in debt, you have to steal, all of that stuff, you're going to be it's going to take the god is gonna take away that blessings away from you. But remember, the first thing that I said was okay, the vow can be changed and you can actually select a different god. So when that happened, okay, so this person who decided to live his life righteously, but something bad happened to him, okay, he can just go through to another god and say, hey, I want to become a thief, so I want to live a life of thievery, for example, you know, and that god will be watching over this person, okay. So in a sense, there's not much repercussions, okay. Or you can just live your life, just avoiding, your vows, okay. Now, like I say, blessing will vary depending on their vows, okay, and maybe their gods, okay. We don't know fully how it works, okay. They gone through the basics, but they did not go in detail, okay. Now, about Shin no Nakama, okay. Shin no Nakama, it is unchangeable and permanent at birth, okay. So they have no rights. They can't change it. In their life, okay. Even if you know, like last week I talked about a person who received the blessings of a thief, okay, and so this person, okay, remember the blessing act as a guide as well, but okay, let's say for example, if this guy he walked around, in a crowded place and he saw, this person who puts a coin purse around his waist, okay, so he has the urge to steal it, okay. So at first it may be like a challenge for him, like maybe I can do that, okay. But if he avoid it so much, or when there's a lot of people who do that, okay, who put their coin purse on their waist, okay, he might get tempted to it, and at the end he will be, the impulses is so much that he will eventually have to do it, okay, and lead to the path of thievery, even though the guy knows that stealing is bad, he doesn't want to do it, the urge will bring it back to the path to the blessing that they receive, okay. Now, okay, so that is the drawbacks of the blessings. The If you don't do something that the blessing that you're given, you're going to receive a huge drawback, okay. one of it was um one of it was, if I'm not mistaken, um it was with a boy who wanted to be a guard, but he received uh the blessings of a drunken brawler, something like that. Okay, so he decided to take uh to receive to do something about it, and he actually get the another blessing, which is blessing of a mad axe or something like that. Okay, that kid, okay, where even though he doesn't want to hurt his friend, okay, but when he was shown an axe, okay, he actually went something like a berserk state, and like he goes mad when he saw that axe, and he took it, and he instantly had the urge to kill. So that is a huge, huge drawback about this blessing. No matter how far you try to get away from it, it's gonna bring you back. Okay. Hmm. Maybe once or twice you can fight it off, but further down the line, you know, you're going to receive a huge urge to fight against it. Okay. Now, next thing is that in Shin no Nakama, you can choose. Like I say, you got it since birth. You can't do anything about it. Okay, whether, let's say, like just now I said, the boy, he wants to be a guard. Okay, how can he be a guard if he have the drunken brawler? You know, no matter what he tried to do, he will try to fight back against it. In the end, you know, let's say he leads his life righteously, okay, protecting all the people in the town, okay. So of course they are guards, okay, and guards would like to relax a bit, maybe drink at the tavern. Okay, remember he had the blessing of a drunken brawler. If when that happened, okay, when he start to get drunk, okay, and of course when people are drunk they do stupid things, okay, and he might actually, when he get drunk, he might start a fight in the tavern, and at the end uh will lose respect as a guard, and at the end have to become like a thief or some sort. Okay, in other words, a low life, okay, who did bad things. Okay, so in a sense that blessing will is going to play a huge role in that. Okay, so comparing these two blessings, okay, without a doubt, I would prefer Saihate no Paladin. But the thing is, Shin no Nakama is that in the world of Shin no Nakama, how they tell the story is that, you know, about people who are fighting against that blessings, okay? Even though it's hard, they're trying to find a way to defy their blessing. In other words, to defy their destiny, okay, their life, okay? And that is a bit, you know, and it makes a good story, okay? And I do hope something will happen about that, because if if this continues on, okay, without that, it's gonna cause a huge problem in the future, okay? And this, okay, and that's why I prefer Saihate no Paladin's explanation and how the mechanics work. But it's great that Shino Nakamari challenged that concept. Okay. Mm. Okay. So now my thoughts on the anime as whole. Okay. Now I've read the manga. Okay, it further goes down the line. Without a doubt, the prologue. Okay, where the protagonist, when he was raised by this tree, okay, the undeads, that is without a doubt the high point of the an- of the anime, of the manga. Now, where it's kind of hard to how should I say this, recreate that, okay, but the author is trying to top it off, okay, but it but he can't reach that, okay, so far. Now in the anime, okay, we were introduced with this, okay. He is an elf, okay, and he actually hates the god, because it turns out that he he was an outcast among all the elves and stuff, and that's why he have to lead a life of, I wouldn't say thievery, but I would say it's not respected as much. Okay, so uh, so there are a lot of this kind of cases. Okay, and There's also, how should I explain this? In Japanese, they will call ajin. In other words, other races other than humans. Okay. In the future, we are going to be introduced uh, to one non-human race, and we're going to help the and the protagonist is going to help these groups. Okay, and it is quite touching. Okay, because in a sense, okay, that the three of them became their teachers and their family and taught him about how to live. Now he will have to, like, you know guide that race, which is, he tried to, but I still don't feel the magic that the author did with the three of them. And because the three of them are so fleshed out, you know, I do wish that, uh okay, now spoiler alert, the two of them, okay, they actually decided to be reincarnated, okay? And he is still in the human realm, okay? Now, for him, okay, he stayed back at the place and he went out traveling. The thing is, I do wish that, you know, he gave like an orb or something so that he can contact and continue on teaching him. Okay? But he didn't do that, and I do feel like it's kind of like a missed opportunity. Okay, maybe like, I do understand that the author did that so that the protagonist can, how should I say this, be independent, but without, the author fleshed out so much of the character of these three undead characters, and for them to be taken away just like that, to be ripped up just like that, I wouldn't say in the beginning, but, when the plots start to unfold, it's kind of like a huge waste, you know. And even though that he have flashbacks here and there, it still doesn't. It's still that I still feel that, we lost a huge potential about it. Okay. Mm. But as okay, as he is an apostle or a priest of the god of rebirth, I do understand where the author is going to that. Okay, where he will have to learn how to be independent, how to live in this world. Okay, I really like that, but at the same time, I do feel like I miss the three of them, because you know, watching the three of them live together, okay, with the protagonist, it's kind of like a huge heartwarming scene, okay. And actually, to tell the truth, I don't mind if he decided if he decided not to journey out in the to the world and just stay with the four of them, okay, and kind of like act like a bit of a gag manga, which also can work, okay, because maybe I hope they make like a parody. I wouldn't say like a parody, like a spin-off where the four of them, they live together and, like, for example, go through life. So for example, when he was a kid, okay, he uh you know for example, he saw her naked. In the manga, they did do that, okay, and they did do that. But I wish more of that to happen, okay, like a spin, like I said, okay. And if that happens, I would enjoy it very much, without doubt. Okay. Now, that's I do feel like the manga, the direction it's going to be like a rather mediocre, okay, I wouldn't say mediocre, above average isekai theme, kind of going on, okay. And it's kind of a waste, okay, because the story starts at a at a very high at a very high um peak, but now it seems like it's going downhill from there, okay. And I hope that I'm wrong. I really want to enjoy it, but i can't get I can't get uh into the story without the three of them not hanging around, because, like I say, they are really well done, okay. Hmm. Now, Okay, that's all about Saihate no Paladin. Okay, now, this is just a bit extra. I want to talk about um the next season. Okay, the next winter season. Well, the next winter anime season. The thing is, the next season, which is gonna start next week, I don't have much hope for it. Okay, now I'm looking at the winter anime, list. Okay, I see only two or three that I'm interested in. Okay, so of course, without a doubt, the most hyped up anime is without a doubt Shingeki no Kyojin. Okay, the final season. Okay, the thing is, Shingeki no Kyojin. Uh, I've actually read the whole manga, so I don't get more surprised. Just want to see how they animate the whole thing. Okay, and basically, I want to see how well it does. Other than that, nothing. Okay, nothing much about Shingeki no Kyojin. Okay, uh, the the other anime that kind of caught my attention is Arifureta Shokugyo. Arifureta Shokugyo, even though because it's season 2 and season 1, I don't think it did, you know, I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's like a must watch for me. Okay, okay, so that's like I kind of like I'm just gonna watch it. I'm not looking forward to it much. Okay, now the anime that I'm looking forward the next season is without a doubt Tensai Oji no Akaji Kokka Saseijutsu. Okay, so basically what I read from the the winter anime, this one, uh, it's about a guy um who is trying to rebuild his country from debt, and it kind of get uh it kind of get I kind of get a feeling of Amagi Brilliant Park uh from the description. Okay, and which is why I look forward to it. Okay, maybe they go through the same route. Okay, and in the beginning, I didn't expect to enjoy Amagi Brilliant Park in. Okay, and maybe Tensai Oji will do the same thing. Okay, other than that, let me see. Uh, let me see. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, Sayuki Reload. Okay, with I'm a big fan of Sayuki. Okay, because that's like one of my first few anime that I've watched. So I'm looking forward for Sayuki. Other than that, yeah, I don't have much else. Okay, maybe let me see. Maybe Shikakumon Saikyo Kenja. Maybe I think I read the manga. I think I read the manga, but I forgot. Okay. Mm, Kenja no Denshi, Kenja no Deshi wo Nanoru Kenja. Maybe will be fine. Like I say, I don't have much hope for the winter season. Okay, anime, and but I do have a couple of animes that I'm looking forward in the following uh season. Okay, which is the spring 2022, which is Honzuki no Gekokujo is coming back. Okay, for the third season. リケが恋をしたので証明してみた. That one is also a good one, okay? Because the first season is pretty good. Other than that, Yusha Yamimasu. Oh, Yusha Yamimasu for the spring season 2022. I'm really looking forward to it, okay? Based on the description and the preview, okay? Other than that, Maho Sky Reimeki. Maybe. Otome Game Sekai? maybe, okay, it haven't been finalized because season spring season 2022 is still quite far away, but I'm already looking forward to the season. Okay, now other okay, so yeah, that's all. Okay, um, for this season is coming to an end, and also the year. Okay, and now I'm gonna go through my schedule for the week. Okay, so tomorrow, okay, this week I want to finish Wasteland. Okay, I kind of like get a bit tired because the DLC is so hard. Okay, the Holy Detonation yesterday, I can't believe that they put such a hard bar to go. I won't say it's to get into the whole mountain is so hard. Okay, to kill all the robots. Okay, and I kind of get annoyed with that. Okay, and on the weekend, I'm probably gonna play Natural Vacation, and most probably will finish by Saturday. Okay, I went and checked out. Okay, and Sunday I'm probably gonna play a new game. Now the thing is that I did try to find a couple, and there's a couple that I want to play, but then I look at the trial version. Okay, and there's problem with the trial version, problem um with my OBS not working properly with that visual novel. It's kind of sad. Okay, I'll try and find something because I did try like 4 or 5 visual novels. You know, things comes up. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to play yet first. Okay, maybe I'll try to get the ones to work. Okay, now on Monday, I'm gonna play a new game, okay, which is World of Final Fantasy. Okay, now World of Final Fantasy is like, if you don't know World of Final Fantasy, okay, it's not the normal Final Fantasy. World of Final Fantasy, the best way for me to explain it is basically Pokemon version of Final or okay, World of Final Fantasy is basically a Pokemon version of it. Okay, and if you ask me, it does a whole new level of Pokemon when you start playing it. Okay, and I think everybody's gonna enjoy it when I go through it. World of Final Fantasy was released a couple of years back, 3 or 4 years ago. Okay, and it's quite sad that it doesn't get the attention that it deserves because, of course, this is the first iteration of it, and there's a story behind it. Yeah, as you expect of a Final Fantasy game, and the battle mechanics are quite fun. Okay, the mechanics of the game is quite fun. Okay, and I want to show everybody how good the game is. Okay, then next Tuesday for Geek Night, we're gonna have Sakamoto Desuga. Sakamoto Desuga for me is like one of the ultimate gag anime that seriously I can't stop laughing watching it. Okay, okay, so we're gonna talk about Sakamoto Desuga next week. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this week. Okay, and okay, if you like Geek Night, okay, if you like what I'm doing, okay, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, and share the video if you like it. Okay, and if you think that I can do something about it, okay, you can comment on the videos. Okay, like maybe ideas for next anime and stuff. You can list down below in the future, um because right now I'm getting back to my manga reading habits again, and if I see that this manga is going to be having an anime adaptation, I might be talking about that. Okay, because but I can't guarantee that the anime is going to be good because um the anime, okay, sometimes the anime they flop because the biggest problem about anime that I've been complaining the whole time is because anime they didn't do well because they have to fit in the season 12 to 13 episode, and they don't get to how should I say this, expand the uh in other words, give the manga the attention it deserves, the time and attention it deserves. Okay. Mm, yeah. And so that's it for today. Okay. That's it for today. What we talk about today is Saihate no Paladin. Next week we're gonna talk about Sakamoto Desu. Okay. Now, okay, so that's all for this week. Bye bye.